Good day. Thank you for joining me on the last part of this three-part lecture series. I'd like to begin again by thanking the uMsunduzi Museum for giving me this opportunity. Thank you so much. In this last lecture, I'll be reflecting on the spiritual implications of domestic violence, rape culture, and femicide. I think through the nature of the human and its connections with the ancestral realm, and I consider what happens to the human soul when it dies in a brutal way. Of course, then there's implications on cleansing ceremonies when a violent death has come across. So we've read that there's been a rise in statistics of the incidences of gender-based violence over the lockdown. A lot of us could have easily predicted this. Firstly, South Africa is a deeply traumatized country, and a vast majority of South Africans are dealing with different types of trauma. So being forced to sit still with no escape, especially with alcohol being banned over the lockdown, people are actually forced to sit down and face their demons. Now, I strongly believe that South Africans lack the inner resources and internal processing capabilities to self-soothe and self-regulate. And so domestic violence, acting out, beating someone is actually an indication of an internal process, and it shows the lack of being able to self-soothe. Obviously, then, there's been a rise in gender-based violence statistics. So I'm not going to use this platform or this opportunity to ask men to please stop killing and to please stop raping us. I think that's been done over and over again. Possibly another type of divine intervention is needed in order to be able to curb this thing of domestic violence. What I'll rather do is I would like to think through umnyama or isinyama pollution that is brought about when someone has died in a violent way, when someone has been raped. Umnyama is both on the victim as well as on the perpetrator. So throughout this lecture series, I've been referring to the African cosmological view of reality, and I've really been stressing the fact that a human is a spirit, is a soul, is a body. What happens to the body will impact the soul, will impact the spirit. The human, being spirit, soul, and body, also has access to spiritual beings, so the creator beings, the divinities, as well as ancestral spirits. Each person is assigned ancestral spirits at birth from the mother's side and from the father's side, and these ancestral spirits are there to protect and guide you along your journey on earth, but they also withdraw when they're angry or when something wrong is done. This kind of withdrawal from ancestral spirits is what we call umnyama, isichitho, pollution. This obviously has a vast number of symptoms, but really it's this metaphor of a dark cloud over you, which has various implications for your physical, mental, spiritual, social health. When a person commits a violent act or murder, ancestors will withdraw because it is not in human nature to inflict pain on another person. The ancestors withdraw for a number of reasons. Firstly, it is wrong to kill. It is wrong to rape. It is wrong to inflict pain on any person. And this is why the ancestors withdraw. Also, the ancestors of the victim of this violence also become angered. And so this increases the amount of umnyama or isinyama on the perpetrator. It also can cause something that we call iqunga, which is why it is important for people who have been incarcerated when they come out to have cleansing ceremonies. It's a type of a spiritual rehabilitation. It makes sure that you don't commit the act again. So we can only imagine then our men in South Africa or the perpetrators of this domestic violence, what is happening to them emotionally, mentally, spiritually by perpetuating this kind of violences. Bamnyama, banesinyama, badinga ukugezwa. Now, when a person passes away violently, or when a person is raped, this means that somebody has infiltrated their aura forcefully. This also means that they have umnyama that is associated with rape. This is why you hear someone say, I've been raped so many times in my life. Psychologically, it is said that it is more likely for a person who's been raped before to be raped again. Spiritually, we explain that by saying that the rape leaves a mark in your aura, it leaves a mark in your spirit, and it calls upon the energy over and over again. This is why healers believe that after a person has been raped and all the protocol has been followed, and in terms of reporting the rape, then they need to be taken to a cleanser, to a healer, to be cleansed of isnyama that comes with rape. Now, unfortunately, this isn't always the case. When a person has passed away, so already in our customs, we have rituals related with death, because we believe that it's quite a sensitive topic. Anyone that has died, in order for them to be able to cross over and to be united with their ancestors, there's certain rituals that need to be done. When a person has passed away from a violent death, there's extra rituals that have to be done, because again, it is believed that the same violent death will then visit upon the family again. So the family needs to be cleansed of isnyama that comes with dying violently. I would imagine that the same goes with the spirit and the aura of a woman who has been beat by her husband or her partner over and over again. There is some kind of isnyama that happens. Isnyama then makes it difficult to, I don't know how to explain. The dark cloud has a whole lot of symptoms that are associated with it: mental, social, spiritual, physical. And so ongoing beatings, ongoing abuse obviously create a dent or a dark cloud in our aura. Again, that needs to be cleansed over and over again. So I think at the end of the day, the marches, the protests, the changes in policy won't help if we also don't consider the spiritual implications on both the victim and the perpetrator. I'm hoping that the perpetrators of this kind of violence will be able to think and understand that in as much as they're inflicting pain on somebody else, they're also bringing that pain back onto themselves because of isnyama that comes not only from their own ancestors, but the ancestors of their victim. And families will understand that if a woman has been raped in our family, we do need to confront this. And then we do need to get this woman cleansed so that isnyama of rape doesn't come back to visit upon this woman or on other women in the family, as well as families of people who have passed away in a brutal death, then understand the importance of cleansing ceremonies in order to make sure that this doesn't happen again. All in all, men, please stop killing us. Please stop raping us. There's a lot more at stake than just the body of a woman. Thank you so much for having joined me across this 3-part lecture series. Please do look for me on Instagram. My handle is @_Nombala. There you can follow me and find out more about my own practice and find out more about my research. Thank you so much, uMsunduzi Museum. A blessed day to you.